Welcome to the new NEPA Scene Podcast, the weekly live extension of the most read arts and entertainment publication in Northeastern Pennsylvania. We're coming to you live from Studio 201 in downtown Scranton. I'm Rich Howells. I'm the founder and editor of NEPA Scene. And tonight we're here with Scranton folk Americana singer-songwriters JP Biondo, Chris Kearney, and a surprise appearance by Roy Williams as well. So
surprise guest.
Yes.
Special guest.
So they have a brand new project called the Mule Team with AJ Jump and Ian O'Hara. So we're going to be playing some acoustic songs in the studio. So stay tuned to the end to hear those. And we're also going to be talking about how this group formed and the idea behind the band, their respective solo projects and other things that they're up to musically. The current status and future of Cabinet, their favorite shows and onstage collaborations over the years, because I'm sure you don't get sick of hearing that.
No, great.
The Mule Team's upcoming Fat Tuesday celebration with Indigo Moon Brass Band at the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre on February 25th, and much, much more. So please stay tuned for the full hour. We would love to hear from you guys. So if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to throw at us, make sure you put those down below in the comments. We will get to them later on in the show. So thank you for coming on and staying tuned with us. We also want to plug our sponsors real quick. The V Spot is one of the most popular bars in Northeastern Pennsylvania with live entertainment every night of the week. This week, the Frost Duo is playing on Thursday. Mason Dixon is performing classic rock on Friday. Nice. Nowhere Slow will pack the place on Saturday. And DJ Pat Moore is hosting karaoke on Sunday. Stage West is our newest sponsor, Scranton's premier entertainment venue for live music, comedy, food, drinks, and special events. And they're one of the only venues bringing national acts to Scranton on a weekly basis. So this Thursday, Flaw is back with Gabriel and the Apocalypse, Jump the Fall, and Royal Hell. Saturday is Shivers, a dubstep producer and DJ. Next Tuesday, the 25th, is Lovers and Friends, a post-Valentine's Day party with hip-hop and R&B. Emo band Morning in May is on Thursday, the 27th. And Stage West's second location at State College is opening this Friday, February 21st. So we broke the news about that on the site about a month ago, that they're taking over the old Crowbar. So if anybody who lives down that way or went to Penn State or anything that knows the old Crowbar, it was a really cool venue, kind of along the lines of like Crocodile Rock and those types of bands that would come through there, those like little mid-tier acts that, maybe couldn't, pack an arena, but could pack a club pretty well. So there was a lot of cool shows they did over the years, and it's changed hands about 1 million times. Just recently, it was the Rebar, which is that's the worst name. So I'm glad to see it. They're making it Stage West State College is essentially it. So there'll be 2 different Stage Wests. So they have this Friday is DJ Buku, followed by the Clarks on Saturday. And they've got some big names coming up. Bumpin' Uglies on February 23rd. Real Big Fish on March 1st. Against Me on March 17th, which I absolutely begged Steve to bring them here. He couldn't work it out schedule-wise, but it'd be cool to get Against Me in Scranton. But make sure that you check out the new location in State College if you're down that way. New sound and lighting from Matt Kester Productions. So shout out to those guys, another Scranton business as well. All right, so let's get into the conversation. The last time we had you two on was towards the end of 2018. It was right before Bride Day, so obviously a lot has happened since then. Please tell us what you guys have been up to for maybe the past year or so.
I've eaten a lot of pizza since.
Good,
yeah,
good.
Sure.
Who have you given the most business to?
Probably Alfredo's pizza-wise.
Come on.
Say. Yeah.
Alfredo's.
Yeah, the rules. It's great. Shout out to my sponsor, Alfredo's.
Yeah.
I've been sponsoring this guy right here.
I've been singing the praises lately.
Yeah.
It's a quintessential Scranton.
Did you ever get it with this like the shaved sausage on it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's a good time.
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
Pepperoni.
I mean, that's the go-to.
But no, I mean, besides eating lots of pizza, I've been playing with both of these guys a lot. And playing with my cousin, Pappy Biondo as well, who Chris has a feud with, which is incredible and very funny.
Someday.
It's gonna get you, Pap.
Myself and Roy and his brother Kevin, we have a little cowboy band too, and we play together pretty sparingly, but every once in a while we'll do a little tour or something there. Nice cowboy riff. And then Cabinet's been playing a little bit as well, but also just a few shows a year. And that thing is, maybe it'll pick up a little more, maybe it'll stay where it is. We're not trying to push anything too hard, just kind of letting it be what it wants to be. And then Mule Team, we started playing Mule Team, I don't know, a few months ago or something, and it's just super fun and great. And
Name that cabinet tune. You got it.
what was it, Pennsylvania?
Tower, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Roy. That was the Tower. Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm surprised that went past you.
I couldn't tell. I thought you were playing
I knew it.
Pennsylvania or something. But of course it's the Tower.
Tower,
Yeah,
come on.
of course it is.
Anthony's watching live. Hey, bud.
They never play that song. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Nobody's ever heard that one. So how did the Mule Team come about then? Obviously that came together probably in the last few months, I would say, right?
Yeah, I think AJ really started it. So I think he just put us all on a text thread and was like, "Hey,
We're in a band now.
you guys love country music, right? So do I. Let's start a band." And it was me and Roy and Chris and Ian and AJ, and we were all like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds great." And then it was, I think AJ wanted it to be a country band at first, but it's morphed into this thing where we're covering Beatles and Rolling Stones and Neil Young and doing a bunch of our originals and stuff too. But it's really fun. I don't think we're trying to make the big time with it or anything like that. It's just very rewarding to kind of sit down and dissect all the songs and just do them as good as we can.
It's sort of like an upside down band where like the rehearsals are more fun than the gigs because
And the gigs are pretty fun.
the gigs are really fun.
Mule Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With originals peppered in there.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, all of our intentions are pretty pure. We just want to play good tunes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, whatever happens, happens. But we've all been in a bunch of different types of bands, and this is basically just to play good songs.
Yeah. It's
And ones we've never been able to do.
Yeah. It's an
Three-part harmony
excuse for us
songs.
to do 3-part harmonies in a band.
Right.
Pretty much together.
In addition to the originals like Nowhere Man and Truckin',
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. 3 songs that require really 3 singers.
Mm-hmm.
Or songs that you can't call. It's probably why it didn't become a country band. We all love country music, and we do quite a bit of those tunes, but you can kind of call those on the spot. And if you know the style, like we all do, and you have the melody, you can pretty much just do those types of songs,
Right.
which is great. But when we're rehearsing, we're kind of like, well, we should.
Yeah. But Nowhere Man, you should practice Nowhere Man.
You can't do
before you
it unless you sing it a bunch of times and work out all the parts and all that.
The Beatles had to practice Nowhere Man.
Right.
At least a couple times they practiced it, I
Yeah.
think.
So you guys have all collaborated before and played shows together and stuff like that. What made you want to kind of make it official, so to speak? Give it a name. Start pushing it that way.
Well, I think Chris was just holding on to the name Mule Team for so long that he just...
Yeah, and then you can't it cannot become a
yeah,
thing once it's the Mule Team. It's like
Right.
the best name ever.
That is a great name.
Mule Team.
Yeah.
It is. We celebrate the name of the band probably
that was
most.
Chris.
Yeah.
Anything we celebrate.
Because I washed my clothes with borax.
Was it 20 Power Mule Team?
20 Mule Team borax.
20 Mule Team.
I hope we don't get sued.
Mule Team.
Maybe you get a sponsorship. You never know.
I'll have the cleanest shirts and the whole...
Look, Mama, the Mule Team boys are looking
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah, the
Ball racks.
lore we have for it is that the Mule Team is they're like the group of heroes in the West,
how
the O'Reilly gang comes into town to rob the bank, and then all of a sudden they're like, look over the hill, it's the Mule Team, and then the Mule Team rolls into town and takes care of
day.
business.
Yeah.
It's like what the A-Team was in the 1970s.
Right.
We're the 1870s.
In the 2020s.
Yeah.
There it is.
Very complicated.
So you've had the name for a long time, or you?
It was like one of those things. I don't know. It was like, man, that'd be like you just look at something like, man, that'd be a great band name,
right?
And it's got a good and the quality to it. So it could be Roy Williams and the Mule Team.
Right.
So it's versatile. So I also thought you ever see the movie Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges, where he just goes to he drives to town in his 78 Bronco, and shows up at the bowling alley and the band's waiting for him to show him the tunes.
That's the Mule Team.
That's what I would love for the Mule Team to be. We're all at the bowling alley waiting for some washed up country singer to come and do a show at. I hope you're listening, Southside Bowling Lanes.
And washed up country.
Yeah, we gotta get a gig
somewhere.
at Southside Lanes.
Oh yeah, gig in Southside.
And for us to be the backing band, that would be a dream come true.
That's our goal.
Yeah,
that's our main goal.
So if there's some solo country singer who had a hit in 1982,
and you need a band,
the Mule Team is ready.
Mule Team's your guys.
Yeah,
we're here. Yep, we'll rebel rouse.
Yeah. Roy's teaching me guitar lessons, and one of the exercises was to learn the song from Forrest Gump where he gets hit in the head with a rock and chased by a bunch of hillbillies in a pickup truck. So it's become the theme song of the Mule Team.
It is. We start every show with the song Rebel Rouser.
Yeah.
This one. And then when the key change comes, Mule Team. So on.
Every show. You're bound to hear that.
At least twice. Sometimes 3 times.
Mm-hmm. I was skeptical about you keeping the guitar the whole time, but now I'm liking it. I'm digging how.
Oh yeah,
Roy
I'm digging how that's worked right in.
It's how I best hang out. I'm a whole different guy without the guitar.
What does that mean?
He would have left.
I would have been with
the
pillow. No, I'm great at hanging out, just with the guitar.
You're good at hanging out, Roy. But the band is fun. I think we all, the 3 of us know we can bring any song, whether it be original or a cover, to the other 2 guys. Because we kind of do little practices, the 3 of us. Sectional practices, mule sections. And then we bring them to Ian and AJ, the rhythm. And but I think we all know we can bring anything to each other really, and know that we can make it awesome, and then bring it to those 2 guys and make it even more awesome. And it's just it's just fun.
And with the covers, we try to play them as close to the original version as possible, because it's like a challenge,
Yeah. Well, we don't have Pappy in the band, so we can keep everything pretty tight.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because
so you
Pappy will never be in the band. So if Pappy shows up at the bowling alley in a 78 Bronco, I'm going to tell him, keep going.
Well, can it be Pappy Biondo in the Mule Team?
You're going to run him out of town?
Never. I'll run him out of town. I'm real.
I did already tell him he could be in the band, by the way. So
well, then you're also out of the band. And me. I quit and you're fired.
Well, I have to accept the mule term.
Yeah.
I'm already picturing a showdown on Adams Avenue in front of the bog, tumbleweeds going by and stuff.
Me and Pappy are both on skateboards.
I'm calling you out.
I like it.
It's got to be at 8 a.m. though. I like to do my killing before breakfast.
Chris has got a lead pipe or something.
But the fun thing about this project,
Carhartt.
The funny thing about it though is that we don't care. We only care about it because we want to hang out. We hang out and play over at Fish's garage. And then we get together and we sing harmonies in the living room. Mm-hmm. But the name is great. And then everyone wants to love the Mule Team. Mm-hmm. So I've never got so many texts from a new band where Wall texted me the other day. Mm-hmm. And he's like, man, I want to come into Scranton and see the Mule Team. I was like, no one ever cares.
We're legendary.
No one gives a shit when you have you're putting out your real thing and you're here's my thing I care so much about. And I spent all this year and love me and it's about my anxiety and no one cares.
So you put together a band where it's purely fun and everyone's like, oh, yeah.
It's cash.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's easier to love something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you sneak in the originals. That's where it all comes back to. Is we do get those in there. But yeah, you can't not like the Mule Team.
Yeah. I don't know if it's America's favorite band.
It's Scranton's favorite.
But it's everyone's favorite band.
But it's everyone's favorite.
It's everyone's favorite band.
We're really talking
like all of our.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
we're allowed to because it's mostly covers.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
If it was all originals, this would be weird and super vain.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just saying Nowhere Man is a great song.
And here,
who's going to disagree with that?
We only play songs that we like.
Disagree with it.
And like all of our parents really like this band.
Yeah. My dad's coming to the bog tonight.
Everyone's uncle likes the Mule
Mariah's
Team.
parents.
Yeah. Not that we ever played in bands that was like too weird for your parents to come to. But like I think our parents are like, we're playing the songs that like they showed us.
Yeah.
You know? That's,
the Moneynotes was too weird for my girlfriend's parents. But other than that,
a weird band, great band. So
yeah,
I miss that band.
I think everybody does.
Yeah, that band ruled.
Pat said it last time we were all together playing. He's like, "This is the weirdest band. It's the weirdest band."
Oh, it's so good though. It's so good.
Well, lesson in marketing: come up with a great name like Mule Team, and then put your music in through that.
Yes, stickers coming soon someday.
Yeah, I think I'd order them.
We'll see.
But I'm gonna get little ones, like a band sticker. But then I want like bumper stickers, like that you would get, like a political ad or like that you visited somewhere so great that you.
I climbed Mount.
Yeah. You wanted everyone behind you to know
Washington
that you came to see the Mule Team.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I saw Mule Team at the bog.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, JP said there's never been a band. He said I've never been in a band where we've said the name of the band so many times on stage. You're never at like a cabinet show like Cabinet.
Yeah, no,
Cabinet.
I would never do that. That'd be ridiculous.
No.
But in Mule Team throughout the show, like it probably gets said over the microphone like 20 to 30 times throughout the show.
Yeah.
Like no lie. Just because it's great. Just waving the flag, Mule Team.
It's almost like it's bigger than the band.
It is.
Well, it's not, but it is.
It is. In my eyes, it is.
We're creating a community.
Right.
So, like when the apocalypse comes, which it's going to,
They'll seek out the Mule Team.
come find the Mule Team. We won't have any food or weapons, but we'll have songs.
My lucky stars, it's the Mule Team.
Yeah.
Look, Mama, it's the Mule Team.
So you guys
Over yon rim rocks, the Mule Team.
Over on Rimrocks.
All right.
So you guys played at Carl Hall. What was your first show? You got Canteen Park, Jack's Draft House. How did those go? How did the shows go? What was the vibe like? The crowds like?
They're fun. Well, Carl Hall is always different. It's always kind of quiet there, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
But Mule Team, I think, likes a little bit more rowdiness than that. But it was super fun.
They got a little rowdy towards the end.
It was a good one to whip us into shape because we didn't really ever play other than maybe one casual gig at like Jack's.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, we're going to learn these tunes. And again,
better learn them good.
Yeah, because we're doing, mostly covers of songs that a lot of people really, know. You can't really mess them up. Or it's going to be very clear,
Especially in Carl Hall, yeah.
If you get all your words wrong, people are going to catch on pretty quick.
Yeah. But it was fun. Carl Hall was great. The sound in there is awesome. Obviously, AJ, running that place. So easy connection. Wasn't a tough gig to get.
Right.
And then where else did we
Jack's was fun. Jack's is always fun.
Jack's is always great too. We have a good time. Actually, last time we played at Jack's, it was like it turned into a Mule Team party.
Yeah, it was rare, yeah.
It is definitely a little bit more the vibe for us to just be playing in a casual place because it does feel a little bit. It kind of exposes at least my feelings on like playing a lot of covers. Mm-hmm. Then when people are just like sitting, listening, you're like, wait, you don't have to just sit and listen.
Yeah.
You can like hang out too because this isn't my song.
You've heard it before.
Yeah.
But there's nothing more.
It's all right. Listen to this Grateful Dead song in the background.
Right.
I don't care.
Have a good time.
It's going to sound good.
Yeah, enjoy it and listen in that context. But like, whereas when you're doing entirely original music, it's pretty discouraging if you're like singing your lyrics and singing your songs, and people are just like, if they're not paying attention to your background, then you get all existential about what's the point of all of this.
At one of those Rockwood
right,
shows that you had to do on the piano.
Yeah.
You were playing your heart out, and there were your tunes, and like people were being like real crummy, and you got bummed out.
Yeah.
That'll bum you out quick.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah.
I think we had to walk it off. That was the same weekend.
That was the weekend we walked
Well,
off. I thought you were there for I've had some bad explosions at Rockwood too, where I've had to reprimand. Because it's like it's like being in Carl Hall and people just talk. It just doesn't happen. This is like a listening room in New York. So yeah, when it happens where people are just like, it's more just like frustration with the lack of a social barometer.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how are you sitting there and talking when you're just clearly making everyone else so mad around you? To not feel that.
I know. I've had
blows
a lot
my
of,
mind.
like, thoughts about that too. It's like, should you be mad at someone for that? Like, just because they don't understand that? Does that make them a terrible person or not? Like,
It doesn't make them a terrible person.
but it means they probably shouldn't be there, and I understand.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Or they should understand the vibe of the place. But it's
Right.
like, it just doesn't make sense. They're paying money to see.
I've reprimanded other people as when I was an audience member and
Right.
told people to shut up.
Well, it's because it makes you feel very uncomfortable if you're performing and you're seeing other people like turning around, like, who is this person talking? Like, and it's like discouraging to the performer if you're like doing something serious and someone's just like talking about their job or something.
Right.
But it's equally as much like seeing other people and then knowing now the whole vibes of now no one's paying attention.
Oh yeah, now the vibe's completely different.
Because everyone is
Everyone's
either
focused on this person now.
There's this person now. It's their show. Everyone's just like, because people like to get pissed too.
Oh yeah,
They want to
people
get
love
mad
it.
at them.
Well, they want you. People love getting mad at other people.
Yeah.
It makes them feel better about.
So then they
themselves.
start. They see them. They start imagining all these things about their lives and what.
But the Mule Team's pure fun.
No. Yeah, that's where this doesn't happen at Mule.
Yeah,
Team.
no.
That's not happening at the blog tonight.
No.
No.
Well, remember we went to see your buddy Wyndham there at Rockwood.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Perfect vibe.
Perfect.
Everybody was chilling out and just. Was that the room you were in, or the other side?
It was in that one.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be quiet in that room.
Oh yeah.
One guy, one instrument.
Right.
Just sip your gin and tonic and listen to the songs.
But you could talk at the bog tonight.
Oh yeah.
Tonight at 8:30.
Bogs
at the
for
Bog.
chugging.
And I think you can talk down at the Kirby Center too.
On February
Oh, yeah.
25th
Yes,
with
that's
the
right.
Indigo Moon
Fat
Brass
Tuesday.
Band.
Yeah. That's gonna be a blast.
I don't know what the bead
Maybe we should talk about that a
situation
little
is.
bit.
Yeah, well, it is
With
billed
that.
as a celebration. So
Yeah, it is. Because
Fat Tuesday.
the next day is Ash Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and you're supposed to give up something for Lent.
So you get real fat before.
So you just you do all the stuff that you do, like that you're gonna give up for Lent. I remember when I was a little boy, I gave up playing Nintendo for Lent. That was a tough 40 days. Because when you're a little kid, time is a lot slower.
right.
40 days is an eternity
Yeah.
for a 9-year-old. Without Super Mario Brothers.
Mario.
Mario.
I used the Moranis pronunciation.
Mario.
French bread pizza.
But
That's
yeah,
what Driscoll said to me when I said we were playing at Jack's this like upcoming week. He's like, the day after Ash Wednesday. It's like, how the hell do you know that?
He's Catholic.
Yeah, but do you like know? Are you loose? Yeah, like he's like Northeast Scranton Catholic.
Right.
It's not about God. Like,
what's the
you
day?
just go.
Yeah.
You know the schedule.
Yeah,
you know the schedule.
You know the schedule.
Sure.
What's the day after Ash Wednesday?
It was about some Jack's gig, but it just surprised me that he was like,
Oh, okay.
that was his instant point of reference.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like,
He's playing with us on Fat Tuesday, which is the day before, actually.
okay, that's why. It's his New Orleans cred.
Yes.
He knows that because he loves New Orleans stuff
He
so much.
loves New Orleans.
He knows that Fat Tuesday is the day before Ash Wednesday.
That makes sense. So what do you guys have planned for that? Is that going to, I would assume it's a different vibe. It's something different than
We're learning
typical.
some new tunes. I forgot what we got.
Yeah, we're gonna do
one.
some New Orleans style stuff, and mesh up with the Indigo Moon guys there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be a total party vibe because a horn section, unless you're at the orchestra, makes you want to like dance, especially with that band because they're so much fun.
They're great.
Right.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
they're
so
awesome.
pumped to play with them. It's gonna be a blast.
The last time we were on the show, we went to the Jazz Cafe to do that Last Waltz thing, and a lot of those dudes were in the horn section, and playing in a band with the horn section is like one of the coolest things you could ever do in your whole life. So being able to do that next week is going to be a lot of fun.
Nick.
Yeah. It was funny when we posted the announcement about the show. We usually don't get comments on the site. We get them on like social media on Facebook and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So whenever we get them on the site, it's usually like a troll or something, spam or something like that. And a guy asked, do these guys do funerals? And I was like, "Are you looking to hire them to do a funeral? That would be great. I'd go to a funeral if the Indigo Moon Brass Band was
like
playing."
The second line, like a New Orleans thing. Yeah,
right.
What? They remember that James Bond movie where
that was the first thing I thought of. And then they kill the guy at the beginning, and they throw him into the.
Yeah, they do the real somber procession, and then the guy's like watching the parade, and then they kill him and throw him in the casket, and then they start doing when the Saints go marching in.
Yeah. I was not people bash Roger Moore. I love the Roger Moore movies, and that one's my favorite just because of stuff like that. It's so goofy. That was trying to think.
But that's a real thing.
Isn't that the one with the McCarthy theme? The McCartney
Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. Is it Live and Let Die?
I don't know.
I think so.
But that's a real thing in New Orleans funerals. They do the first line is the somber one, and then the second line is with the celebration one. Yeah.
Right.
Mm. So we learned something today about
stuff
stuff that I learned from a James Bond movie.
That's right.
All right, everyone together, clave.
I just learned something right now. I didn't know what that.
Yeah, it's a clave.
I just knew that was a button on a Casio keyboard.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll have a beer.
Yeah, you guys are welcome if you want to grab them. Go right ahead. When we had last week, we had Jordan Ramirez and the Tribe. We talked a lot about jamming and improvisation and that sort of thing. How does that work with you guys? I'm sure it's different for every group, for every band. How do you guys kind of read each other musically? How does that work?
We don't jam a whole lot.
We did the other night.
But yeah, sometimes Roy will stand up on top of a chair and go off on a wah-wah tangent.
That's pretty cool.
And every once in a while we'll let Chris loose too a little bit.
Mostly dance is where I improvise.
But there's
I like to take it to space. I'll go on on law. Myself and Ian and AJ have an instrumental band that we do instrumental music of mine. I'll actually be playing with them tomorrow and the next night. And it's 3 hours of spacing out and jamming. So in the moments that we do that, if I kind of go off on the guitar or the steel or something, it's no offense to you two guys, but it's mostly playing with the bass and drums.
Yeah. No, I'm just sitting there strumming on an acoustic guitar, which is
I'm
what I
jamming
want to
with
do
the acoustic guitar. That's what I'm going.
I'm like learning the guitar stuff I should have learned when I was like 15. Now.
Yeah. Well, in Mule Team, it doesn't happen that often. We do kind of stick more to the songs, but there are several songs where, like, we're gonna jam for a while. I mean, it's usually Roy just going off on piano or guitar. Yeah.
Also, Roy plays guitar, pedal steel, and piano in just this band. So
yeah, it's great. Roy takes up 1/3 of the stage. Yeah, there's 5
I'm off the stage tonight. I'm set up in front.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I like that.
That's the old.
So stuff. It's kind of like an 8-person band, but there's only 5 of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, 7.
Now, do those smaller spaces like Jack's or the Bog kind of work in your favor in that sense? Having to kind of pack all in together, or does that make it more difficult?
It makes us
more space
creative.
Is better, but it doesn't. We make it work.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
The best is up at Fish's.
Yeah,
of course. Of course.
Yeah.
There's a plug for Fish.
Yeah.
Club 519.
Yeah, Giello's Body Shop in Dunmore, Pennsylvania. If you need
come up the club.
A front panel or a fender or
clean the dirty magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish. I'm one of Fish's washing.
He's our benefactor. We get to use his upstairs of his body shop as a rehearsal space.
Oh, nice.
And everything's all set up.
Even
He's got
better.
drum set and amps and
Yeah. He's Ian's uncle, so he lets us use this space all the time.
Okay, that's cool.
through marriage.
So you guys have a bunch of different projects, of course, outside of Mule Team. So let's talk a little bit about that. You have your latest album is Blue Radio.
Yeah, which came out a while ago.
Yeah, it did
for
come
sure.
out a little bit ago, but it's been a while since we've had you on. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, or
I mean, not really. It's funny. I mean, Roy helped me make that. I don't
Yeah,
really?
want to. Roy helped produce that, which was a huge help to me. But it
I don't
was,
really want to talk about it either, though.
yeah.
I would understand if you didn't. It was something I felt like I needed to get out of my system. There's a couple select songs on there that I really like, and kind of hold on to, but the
One
rest
in
of them,
particular, like
I just kind of. Chris has a song on the album, one of his tunes, which is the most beautiful song on it.
probably
I think,
it's my favorite. Anyways.
because Mark Woodyap played fiddle on it,
Obviously.
not because Chris wrote it.
I think that's the one you guys closed with last time when you were on the
I
show.
think so. I think you're right. Yeah. No, it's a really pretty song. It's a heart wrencher. But I think I just kind of needed to get all the songs like out of my system, and just I was in a point in my life where I had to get some stuff out and just move on, and so I don't really play any of those songs really out or anything anymore. Save one or two, but so that's kind of all I have to say.
Do you have anything you're working on now then, or
Myself and my cousin Pappy, we're working on some music together for our duo, the Owl and Crow duo. We have some material together, and hopefully some exciting stuff coming up in the future with that. But he lives up in Vermont, about 6 hours away from here, so it's a little tougher to make that happen. But I make the trip up there when I can, and we try to get to work. And over the summer we'll be playing a bunch for sure.
and you guys were in the NEPA scene calendar, so I mean that's a
Come
that's
on,
another level right there.
that's
come
a
on.
big win, right? Can I have a riff for that, Roy?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Mhm. Made it into the calendar riff.
What month was it?
I don't know off the top of my head.
What was it? February.
I don't think so. I think it was later.
Shortest
later
month.
in there. So,
Not by much this year.
how about you, Roy? You've had some singles and stuff come out over the last year or so, a few months.
Yeah. I've been doing a couple different projects that are regularly releasing stuff. It's been our method for right now. At least there's stuff under several names. Some of the most recent being under Roy Williams and his orchestra, which is I started as a project because it was like I wanted to make stuff where I just played and recorded, engineered the whole thing myself, and played like all the instruments. So there's been a few of those that have come out in the last few months. And then also during that time, I'm always putting out music with my brother doing Heavy Blonde. We have a project called Heavy Blonde, which is the two of us as well. And we kind of
Which is awesome.
put together
So good.
in a similar way as that other stuff, except I do it with him. But then also I've been putting out tunes that I have recorded with a band, this series that I'm going to eventually just put out as a full album called New York City Songbook, which was recorded before I left New York, moved back here. But with those, we're kind of trying to see. We took this approach. I just was talking to my brother about it. Like we would release singles because we figured, the whole game of doing that is basically getting PR. The
Right.
thing has to be good. There's a level of that, obviously, but we know. I mean, like we know, and I feel like we're pretty self-aware of when we think we've made something that's good or average, or below average, and we try not to put those out. But once it gets to that point, it really is like, are you gonna pay someone to advertise you?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, you can't expect anybody to know what you're doing. So we're like, well, let's just do singles all the time and like just be constantly putting stuff out, which has worked for a little while. And we've been digging doing that. But we were just recently thinking, let's just put a couple more out and then pull them all and then like release it as an album and do the thing and, try and get a publicist and do all that stuff. But I think from the last record I put out about a year and a half ago, it becomes a little bit, it's fine. I'm not like entirely discouraged or anything, but I am aware that you basically have to just pay for advertising.
Right.
After a certain point, that's all it is. And you can't expect anything to change unless you do that. And, you think about whatever business it is, restaurants or whatever, anything. They're like spending a lot of money on advertising to get their name out there. So that becomes such a huge part of the game. But, when you're like, I've been a full-time musician since I'm 19 and I'm 32. I've been feeling just fine doing what I'm doing, that it's kind of hard to be like, wait, I got to pay someone $6,000 for a 3-month campaign. And that's like a small, low level one.
Yeah.
Right.
That even that is not getting, because really it sounds like I'm very jaded. I'm not. I think I'm becoming more and more aware. But really, it's just it. Like I used to have a good friend of all of ours that I grew up with, a guy from here, Kyle Wall, who I used to play in a band with, and he's a great guitar player and songwriter and all this stuff. But I lived with him for years in New York, and he worked for a big PR firm. And, we kind of get the score from him on all that stuff all the time. Like, it was really expensive. He worked for one that was doing like he was like Kenny Chesney and like Bruce Springsteen and outrageously large bands. Right. I mean, bands that are costing like a month, like $12,000 or $20,000 a month. Maybe some of them even way more than that.
Yeah.
So that's obviously on the way more intense end of things. But I think that even on a small level, it's kind of tough to put out an album if you don't have backing. It's like even $6,000 is a lot, especially if you don't, you're just playing the bog.
Jax.
Yeah. Who's got that kind of money?
Yeah.
And there's only so many outlets out there, and it's tough. Like us being independent, like we have our struggles. Even the big guys have their struggles now. It's we're at the same. Just over the past 5 years, we've taken over the space that used to be occupied by like a lot of the big newspapers around here, because they've essentially dropped a lot of their arts and entertainment coverage. Yeah, because they're cutting costs, they're cutting staff.
Right.
So they have to focus on chasing fires and, police stories and stuff like that. So a lot of the great arts and entertainment coverage we used to get just around here in this little microcosm, a lot of that's gone now. Like, you have us, you have, Highway 81, you have, 2 or 3 others, and that's about it. And the stuff that was there, like the Weekender used to be huge. It used to be, this thick, and now it's like it's 10 pages.
I just saw it the other day.
It's
a
joke.
In Coney Island, and I picked it up, and I was like, "Oh my god, this thing's like 3 pages."
Yeah, it's a joke, and it's not, and it's full of AP stories. There's no original, actual stories like written by local people about local people. It's just like filler to throw a bunch of ads in. It really is sad.
It's weird, I know, and it's like one of these things. It's like I try, and the good thing is that like I was saying, I don't want to sound like I'm jaded about all this stuff. I just feel like pretty aware of what's going on with it. But I really enjoy playing and making and writing and recording music, and like it doesn't really matter. Sometimes I make it just to show these guys, and like Mariah and like my parents. I basically send songs to my dad. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Even if it's just that's fine.
Yeah.
So if there's other stuff that comes to it for any of these projects we're doing, it's great. But it's like the status quo is great too. So I don't feel like I need that. I don't even know how we got there. I guess it was like what's happening with albums and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to get your stuff out there and to get people to pay attention. That's the hardest thing. Getting their
attention once you get it too.
It's
hard.
Well, that's the thing with these like monthly singles. We thought, okay, well that's a good idea because you're constantly staying on people, but mentally that requires a lot of energy because I noticed that like I'm not too obsessive with my like social media by any means, but it's my business. So I'm like using Instagram quite a bit for things and get work from it. But like when you just casually make a post of like us, like playing Mule Team, like at a rehearsal and we're like jamming a tune, it's like, that's the kind of stuff that ends up getting the most response. Whereas if you put up like, hey, please listen to my song, take 3 minutes from your day. And like, I spent, you give your whole story and pitch and like, no one really cares. Right. And you have to do it. Yeah, you have to do it.
They're like, just play trucking, man.
Just play trucking, man.
Play trucking for me.
But you do it. But the thing is that you have to like they do care. But what I'm saying is that if you do that and you do it on that amount of a pace, it's great. But that's just always going on. You're like constantly getting artwork. You're constantly like putting out your thing and it's like you can only ask, so many times for people that you wonder if it doesn't make more sense to do just a few of those and then give them an album where you can really save up all your chi,
right?
And be like, all right, now I'm gonna say for 3 months straight, listen to my album and go nuts on it, and then take a break for a couple of years. I'm not still figuring it out. I have no idea.
How about you, sir? What have you been up to?
I'm just letting Roy do all the work up front, so when it comes time for me to put something out, he'll have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Just learn from him.
We were making stuff.
Yeah. I recorded a couple of tunes with Roy at his studio, and they're kind of in the what's the word?
In the pipeline, maybe?
Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah, one of them is totally done, right? We just have to get it mixed up.
Yeah, I'm going to send it up.
Well, it doesn't have my part on it yet.
Yeah, I'll send the track over to you. Yeah, so.
So, on the subject of songwriting and putting together your own music, a lot of folk music, Americana music, it talks about some deep personal experiences or tragedies. Or is there anything that is maybe hard to write about or maybe hard to perform, to put those kinds of things out there for everybody to kind of hear, especially in an intimate venue where people are going to be listening carefully, or putting it on an album where it's kind of there forever, so to speak.
Totally.
Are there stuff that maybe is a struggle or is tough to put out there?
I had a friend pass away of a drug overdose about a year ago. It was almost exactly a year ago, and I wrote a tune about it, and I couldn't even get through the whole. As I'm writing it, I'm just falling apart, and I played it out once, and it's still it's right there. It's too much to. So yeah, I'm sure at some point it'll be a little less
Heavy.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that's something that it'll probably never be okay, but
right.
But it's I like the song, and it I feel like all the things that you feel when someone passes away that you care about, and it sort of just, this is how I felt when that happened, and so yeah, probably that. But everything else is pretty, as far as songwriting for me, is sort of what I'm actually saying is kind of shrouded in a lot of stuff. I'm sort of removed from, it's a secret code that
right.
that we've kind of come up with. Because I know what whatever this means, but it's like you don't know what it means.
Right.
Well, whatever.
Maintain a little bit of privacy. There.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, it's pretty scary stuff to actually talk about your feelings in any way, shape, or form. So writing it in a secret code put to nice music is probably the easiest way to do it if you're inclined to.
Well, that's what, I feel like I've always felt weird about singing about a relationship, whether it be with someone you're in love with, or what your dad or your brother, or your good friend or whatever. It's always weird to do it, but it's I think for musicians, it's the most therapeutic thing you can do, and then just put it out, give it to the world, and then it feels better, I don't know.
I was at a music festival last summer, and this dude hadn't seen his brother in a while, and they were both at the festival, and the dude had written a song about how much he loved his brother, and he sang it to him, and his brother was, I was like, I can't, I gotta walk away. This is too beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of weird moments with particular songs. Almost always relationship songs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But where I was I don't think I could do this and make this a song and actually record it and all that stuff. But I've always done it, for the most part. And it always feels better to me when I do. I don't know if that answers the question that you asked at all, but
Sure.
There's my 2 cents.
There's, and there's just certain songs even you hear. I mean, you guys are obviously, picking songs that mean something to you. I know last time you guys were on the show, we talked a little bit about how, the music that you guys grew up with and with family and stuff like that. So when you hear certain songs, it kind of takes you back to a certain time, or you remember some, spending time with a family member that might not be there anymore, or somebody who maybe the relationship is strained and stuff like that. I know that I get that just listening to this stuff, going out to a show.
Yep.
You get a little choked up. So I can't imagine being on stage in front of people and having to express those same types of thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
So, speaking of memories, do you have any, memorable shows or things that stick out to you? Not just with the Mule Team, obviously, but in general, any particular shows that kind of stick out to you as maybe a favorite or something that means a lot to you that you've done before that you would want to share?
The shows that I've performed at, yeah,
It's a big one.
Yeah, it is a big one.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Sometimes there's a good story there. That's usually why I try to ask that question.
Totally. Oh, absolutely.
To get it,
I just wouldn't even know where to really think about that.
Yeah, I mean, one that pops out in my mind is playing a cabinet show at Peach Fest. Just like recognizing that, like, for the first time ever, we were actually playing for like thousands of people. There was probably like 10,000 people there at that mushroom stage thing, and I was like, whoa, I'm right here. I'm one of these guys on the stage, and there's 10,000 people out there, and they're like singing the songs and stuff.
Yeah,
that was a pretty surreal moment for me. Pretty sure that was the last time that happened too. But it happened that once, and it was cool, and it was funny. I don't really usually get nervous anymore. I used to get nervous when I was playing live when I was younger, like in my early 20s and stuff, but that all went away. But for that 1 second when I really recognized that I was singing for 10,000 people, I was kind of like, oh shit, I'm definitely a little bit nervous right now. I have to do good, when I should have just been like, take a deep breath, you're fine, man. Just sing the tower.
That old staple.
Yeah, but I guess that's the one that sticks out for me.
How about you?
Of one that's particularly sticks out, oh man, or just a particular moment. I have to say, probably a lot of times this has happened to me. There's so many times. I mean, I really feel like I could think of so many of them, but just if they get to the most recent, touring with this band, these guys, well, loosely out of New York, that's where we all met, but now the band leader lives in San Francisco. One of the guys is in Nashville. Some of them are in New York, and I'm here. This guy, Sam Ryder, I tour with, and the crew is just so stupid good. Sam is just like one of the greatest instrumental music writer that I know. He's amazing. Really knows counterpoint and composition like on a very deep level. And then the band is this great saxophone player, Eddie Barbash, easily one of my favorites. He sounds like Johnny Hodges. He's got like the most beautiful tone, alto saxophone player. Dominic Leslie, who it sounds like I'm being exaggerating, but all these guys are like my favorites. Like Dom's like my favorite mandolin player. He's in Nashville. And then Alex Hargraves, who again is easily one of my favorite fiddle players. And then who else is in that crew?
Dave.
And then Dave, just rock solid bass player. Anyway, everybody in it is so good that sometimes when we're playing, or sometimes like when we recorded the record, or I've recorded a bunch of times with these guys now. We've been buds for the last several years, but it happens a lot where I'm playing where I'm like, I can't believe I'm playing with these guys right now. It's Sam Ryder and the Human Hands is the name of the project. And we've never played in Scranton, but I travel all over the country with those guys and going on tour with them in France and Belgium next month. And he's got his thing going on, Sam does, in that kind of like instrumental folk world music, jazz. It's his own thing. But he kind of like, we play that kind of stuff with it. But anyway, like that's where that usually happens with me, is with that crew.
What about when you played for David Crosby?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
That one's got to stick out a little
Yeah.
bit.
Jeez.
But I didn't know until afterwards.
Oh, got you.
I didn't know he was there until afterwards. And then I'm like selling my CDs. And he comes around the corner. It's so unmistakable. It's David Crosby.
Yeah, the walrus.
But I saw him once before.
Right.
I saw him once before. I used to work for the parking authority when I was like 19 in Scranton here. And they were playing, they were actually on their way. They had played somewhere and then they were on their way to Bethel to play the next night. And
they were staying at the Hilton.
They were staying at the Hilton.
Right?
I was going to clock out and I was driving to Lackawanna, like onto whatever, Linden or Spruce or whatever it was, Linden. And he was walking down right by the Hilton. And it was just like, that's David Crosby. There was no, is that or that guy looks like David
Right.
Crosby.
That's
It's just-
David Crosby.
And I had no idea either because they weren't playing at like Montage or somewhere. I didn't even know they were there.
Yeah.
So
It was probably
just
him and Nash.
it was fully David Crosby in the wild, and it was just like there's David Crosby. But yeah, then I was playing a show, and he was there, but I didn't know until afterwards.
I will say playing the Sherman too with the band of Rustlers was really special as well. When I'm like when that band is playing,
Yeah, the
we
harmonies.
do our cowboy stuff. Me and Roy and
Yeah.
his brother Kevin. Like I kind of feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be in the universe when that band is playing. I do.
Totally.
It's like it's hard to even like. That's the best way I can describe it. But
Yeah.
like it's hard to really explain like the feeling that I have. But it's just like, yep, this is it. It's what I meant to do. And we played the Sherman over Thanksgiving, right, or Christmas or something last year. Opened for a Railroad Earth there, and it was just like. It sounded really nice, you know. It sounded really good, and like we didn't even really need monitors, and we had Alex Hargraves playing
That fiddle player.
fiddle
from
with
Hands.
us, the guy Roy was talking about, and he's just like a monster fiddle player. And sorry, I took a second stab at your question.
No, by all means.
There's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many, and most of them I feel like happen in. Oftentimes, it just happens in a rehearsal. I was so pumped after we played Trucking
that was
the other
awesome.
night. We hadn't played.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do
we
it
played
again.
Trucking like 4 times in a row.
Because we never done it. Like we've all played like Dead tunes before, but we were like we wanted to work on a few of those Grateful Dead songs from like the early '70s era where the harmonies are really good. We're like, let's do them, but let's really like. Let's not just focus on like the jam part of it. That was a time we jammed though. We really jammed. We went out
we
there.
did. We did.
But we were like, let's learn
You were
it.
powered up.
Yeah. I was like, but let's do it and let's get these songs for the harmony's sake. So we got together and did that. And we were like, okay, we got, there's a ton of words in that song. We got all the harmonies down. Now let's go like play it with the guys. And we finished doing it. I was so pumped up.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like, that was the best. I've been wanting to do that my whole life.
Yeah, I know. Well, we started with that, right, and then went to my song. It was like real slow waltz, and Chris was just like, I don't know if I can play this stupid slow song right I know you didn't say that, but it was hard.
Boards
That
my mouth.
energy was. We should have just played Truckin' again immediately.
We did. We did after.
Yeah.
How about you, Chris? Anyone that sticks out to you?
It's a dumb one, but I don't care.
There's no dumb ones.
No.
I played a lot of dumb gigs in my life. Right? The Dalton Carnival.
I knew it.
It was like my favorite gig I ever did in my whole life.
I love it.
When I was a little boy, I used to like there's the food tent, and there's like this. It was like this wooden, like fence, like the kind that you put like that, like it's at the shore, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just like and I remember watching the band, and like, man, that'd be great. And then I got to do it, and it was like a lot of my whole family was there, and you know, that was. I mean, that's yeah. That was one of the. Then, and then I probably ate too much funnel cake or something, but yeah, that was, and there was I remember there was when the Coal Town Riders were playing all the time, it was like kind of like a mechanical thing. We would just like get up on the stage, we'd play the set, and it would be like over before you knew it. And there was I think we were playing at the Mock Chunk Opera House, and which has like incredible acoustics. It was built for, you know, singing on amplified music. And there was like I was singing and I kind of like went for it and did like a really high out of my range note. And like I heard the echo come back and it like occurred to me, like kind of like what JP was saying, like I had the moment of like realization, like I am on a stage singing as hard as I can for people. And I like almost like kind of like laughed to myself because it was like I couldn't believe that this was happening to me. So
those moments are the best.
Yeah,
You're just like, this is I'm here.
Yeah,
Cool.
Like, I don't have to play music. I get to play music. That's like the ethos I think that of the Mule Team.
Mule Team.
Yeah,
I have to take it back. My favorite moment was, and I'll be really brief with this.
This is a triple dip.
It was at
There's so many.
It was at a Susquehanna Breakdown, the cabinet hosted festival up at the Montage, where
All your favorite memories are on Montage.
Of course they are. Well, I loved rattlesnakes and
Dude, Tom Petty.
Tom Petty and Allman Brothers. I've seen the Allman Brothers up at Montage so many times.
They're up
Like
now.
pot leaves on the thing.
Mushrooms.
Always
mushrooms.
It's like flashing mushrooms.
I know the first time I went, I was like 12 years old, and I was like, Dad, what's with all like this mushroom stuff going on? He was like, just listen to the music.
Have a spread.
Don't worry.
You'll understand later on in life. Yeah. Anyway, it was at Susquehanna Breakdown, and my whole family and everybody else in the band, their families came out, and a bunch of our friends, and there was like 60 or 70 of us
That
on
was
stage.
crazy.
Oh,
They all
I remember that.
Sweet
Yeah.
Judy Blue Eyes by Crosby,
Yeah,
Stills,
that's
and Nash.
beautiful.
And it like I almost cried like 3 times throughout that song, you know.
Everybody almost cried.
It was
3
just
times.
like I would look over and see like my grandma, you know, or like my cousin Caitlin in her wheelchair, or like Mickey and his mom, or anyone I loved just like there, like you know, it was awesome. That was probably the coolest actually moment. I just needed to throw that in there.
And at that show, the Susquehanna Breakdown shows too, you got to play with Keller Williams, a bunch of you know the guys that you had on the show, also played on stage with you.
Yeah, we started
that's
making
awesome.
a point of that after a few years. We were like, it's gonna be Larry Keel and Cabinet.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Keller
Like
and
take
Cabinet,
advantage.
Yeah, or sitting with Green Sky or whoever, have some fun with that stuff. Because that's what we wanted that to be, the family kind of vibe thing.
Right. So you guys got any, if you have any questions or anything in the audience, make those aware now. I had to refresh the feed for some reason. My signal isn't great down here. So if you asked something earlier and I didn't get to it, I'm sorry. I just literally didn't see it. Let's see.
Anthony says I sound sultry.
He is sultry.
He texted me that. Voice sounds sultry.
Sultry.
Hey, that's a compliment right there. Mule Team T-shirts would sell out, Bill Ritter says.
Okay,
So
all
you
right.
better-
Hey, we should
better
get
get on
on
that.
Bill.
Bill Ritter wants us to come and get up on a. He has a horse.
We want to do it.
We
We
wanna
want
get
to see
it-
if Bill let us.
Bill has horses.
Billy Ritter's
and-
got horses. Billy Ritter from Ritter's Roofing.
Yeah.
You need a roof, call Billy Ritter.
Yeah, Ritter's Roofs.
Ritter's Roofing. We're giving a lot of plugs. So
Yeah,
we
a
can
lot
get
of-
Yes,
this.
get them in
yeah.
now.
We want corporate sponsors from
Visit
anywhere
Fish
we
and
can.
Billy
Yes.
Ritter.
Yeah.
Jello's
Go down
Body
the
Shop.
bog.
Yeah, go down the bog.
Go to Jack's.
Go up Jack's for a burger.
Check out McCarthy Tire at Coast Tire and Auto Service.
Get a
Center.
burger also down at Southside Lanes.
It's
Yep,
got
go to
a-
Alfredo's.
It's a real good yeah. Where else?
I never had the burger at Southside.
Oh my
it's
God.
Keep
crazy.
talking about it.
It's
I
wild.
have to.
It's ridiculous.
I think
gotta
it's
go
because
have
I kind of had low expectations of what no offense to the bowling community, but
No, I
it's-
would feel the same way.
I've had a lot of frozen pizzas served to me at birthday parties over
Right.
the years.
hot dogs.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, so Bill Ritter with these.
Yeah,
got these.
yeah, he's got steeds we should ride.
We thought we could have one promo video, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
We could use it for every show we ever do for the rest of the time. Because our plan also with the Mule Team is like, I love all those guys too. Old friends.
Oh, you're
Been
right.
around. I feel like the Mule Team could maybe be like old friends and
Okay.
30 years from now.
Yeah.
And we're like playing up the
Yeah.
at the Sportsman's
and
Club
hopefully I
doing
won't
the
be the
Mule
only
Team
bald guy in
reunion.
the band
Yeah.
by then.
Yeah. But anyway, I love old friends and I love that vibe and I love the songs they do. But we're like, we could have one music video that we use forever. It's like 20 seconds and it's just the Mule Team riding over a hill
On horses.
on a horseback. And
Oh yeah.
Yep.
is playing, and then it just goes, like scalp, hops, hitch, big leg.
Yeah, we all have names in Mule Team as well. Too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which you'll learn in the
What
video.
are your names?
I'm
then?
Hitch. Yeah.
Hoss.
Scalp. Came up with my own name.
Ian's
Nice.
Big Leg.
Big leg.
And AJ is Skins.
Skins. Oh, yeah, skins.
Well,
It's the Mule Team.
I do know some guys that make music videos, so get in touch with Ionic
Oh, yeah.
Development.
Oh, all right.
Another
Nice.
plug.
Cool.
They're very good
Yeah.
at that stuff.
Check out
Since we're
Ionic
throwing
Development.
plugs,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see. Real quick, Tammy says #up montage.
A montage.
I invented that hashtag.
Up Mont, that was that Tammy Nasser.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
Matthew says, what new artists should we check out that we haven't hit yet, but you've ran into on the road? So maybe somebody you've played with or somebody you've
Matthew
seen
who?
that you should check out.
Daniel
Matthew
Romano.
Yeah, I was gonna
Feehan.
Daniel Romano.
Daniel Romano.
We all
for
agree,
sure,
Daniel
yeah.
Romano.
I was going to say it, but I was going to let you guys say it. Yeah,
Yeah, we all.
He's the best. I also like, I'm like,
You know the
I've been on a
guys,
real big Jason Isbell kick since I saw him at the Kirby Center. What a songwriter.
Heavy Blonde.
Heavy Blonde.
Heavy Blonde.
Dude, check out Heavy Blonde.
Heavy Blonde opening for Daniel Romano.
Hey, that would be a nice bill.
That would be a nice bill.
Oh, and Reed Miller wants to know, Chris, if did you settle your beef with my dog Fritz before he passed?
I didn't know there was a beef.
I didn't know either.
There was beef with Fritz?
Apparently, that was beef.
Why are
with
you
Fritz.
beefing with dogs?
I love dogs. No, I mean,
Great, Jason. Now we're talking about a dead dog on his
Yeah.
presence.
I stole.
Leave
you know
it
what?
to Reed
Listen,
Miller to
listen,
bring down. Come on.
I stole a campaign sign for someone from somewhere up in Wayne County. It was someone named Fritz that was running for something, and I stole it out of somebody's yard and gave it to Reed Miller because that's what his dog's name
Oh,
was.
okay.
I committed a theft, larceny.
So he loved Fritz. Come on.
What else do we got?
Let's see. We got Anthony Hannigan says, "Let's hear a tune." I think it's
yes.
about that time
I think
Yes,
yeah.
buddy.
to hear some tunes. So
Anthony's recovering. He was we had a jam. We had a benefit for Anthony
Bees.
a couple of months ago. He
Give him some paintballs.
he's recovering. He had some health issues. He just kicked cancer's butt, and he's doing
Good
well
for
up
him.
in Wellsboro.
We love Anthony.
Congrats,
yes, man. We must jam and play a song for Anthony.
So make sure you check out Mule Team and Indigo Moon Brass Band, Fat Tuesday at the Kirby Center, February 25th. And if you're not feeling lazy and you want to get off your ass and get down to the bog, they're going to be there at 8:30.
Mule Team.
Mule Team. All right, I'll get out of your hair. You guys jump into whatever you want to play.
All right, cool. Let's just do one because we should probably get scooting soon. Here,
We should.
Thanks for having us, Rich.
Yeah, thanks.
You're very welcome.
You all.
Yeah, thank you, team.
Baby, going, you darling. I hear your man, he's calling. His heart tunes fall for yours like mine. So go on and love your man. Walk on hand in hand. Baby, I will understand. It just takes some time. Just know that I'll be alright. I never did sleep much at night. I never did hold you tight, so I go on just fine. 'Cause if I lost you, dear, I served 100 lonely years. Instead, I will keep you here in the corner of my mind. Oh, baby, Begonia, let the sunshine on you. Still, I'm glad it didn't hold you, so I won't have to let go. Let the bells in my heart chime. Someone asked me down the line to the name Rudy Begonia, strike a familiar note. If it's all a memory, Rudy, that's alright with me. Blowing like a summer breeze, but you need sometimes. So you don't have to stay. You know I'm better off that way. You can keep the song I sing in the corner of your mind.
Mule Team.
Mule Team.
Goodbye, America.
That was one of Roy's tunes there.
Oh yeah, Mule
Kirby
Team
Begonia.
original.
Mule Team OG. All right. Thanks,
Well.
Rich. Let's give her a round of applause for us.
Happy birthday to
us. Mule
Happy
Team.
birthday from us.
Happy birthday from the Mule Team. Happy birthday from us.
to us.